what happens is we end up breeding a ton of inconsistency in our business. And that stems into something else, which is the real estate agent's next thought, feeling, and emotion, which is anxiety. When you don't know where your next deal is coming from, you don't know how much your next check's going to be. You have no idea what, when, where, how, who, any of those types of things. It creates this insane form of anxiety and inconsistency that agents experience. And it's not something that you have to live with.
Thank you everybody for tuning in today. I'm going to be monitoring chat, Q&A, Facebook, Zoom, all this stuff. And today our special guest in enterprise coaching and training is Mr. Grant Wise, close personal friend, someone who has really been good to us down here in Miami, especially. You've been at both Real Talk conferences. You travel the nation speaking. You have a wonderful coaching program and platform. Tell us just a quick synopsis of who you are for the people that don't know.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate that. Sorry, my presentation crashed as soon as I opened it. So I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you. It's because I'm trying to make sure it's done here before we dive in. But really, really appreciate the intro, my man. I'm a huge fan of you and everything that you do. I've had such a great time speaking at the Real Talk conference, events, and just excited to continually help you in any way that I can. But for those that don't know, my name is Grant Wise. I am a client generation specialist, and I travel the country teaching real estate agents how to build client generation systems in their business. So many real estate agents' production is tied to the time they spend, the actions they take to make it happen. And I believe that is a recipe for disaster. And if you're a realtor and you've ever paused working on generating new business, and then all of a sudden your inconsistency creeped in, and you're riding the real estate roller coaster, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so what we teach people and what we help people do is build systems around their income streams, their revenue streams, so that the ways that they make money are more consistent, more automated, more streamlined, so that they can grow and scale a business, and maybe in ways they never even really thought possible. And so that's kind of the short version of who I am and what I do. But I'm blessed to be able to do it. I'm pumped that I get a chance to wake up every day and help people just become more successful.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for that. And we're really pumped to have you on board today. So today, you're going to be rolling with us and teaching us how to create a monster client generating machine, right?
Yep.
Awesome, dude. Table's all yours.
All right, man. I'm going to share my screen. If you will, just make sure that this comes through. I just want to make sure everybody can see it. So can you see the full screen? You good?
Can.
Awesome. So everybody listening to this, first and foremost, if you follow me at @GrantWise on Instagram, send me a DM and say Kurz, Kurz in the message. I will send you a copy of this presentation as soon as we get done, or maybe a little bit later in the day. I do all that stuff personally, but I'll send you a copy of this so that way you can recap it if maybe you can't see it very well, or you want to recap some things, whatever you want to do. So follow me at @GrantWise on Instagram and DM me a message that says Kurz, Kurz. I'll make sure you get a copy of this. So my goal today, guys, like I kind of explained, is to teach you how to build a client generation machine in your real estate business. If we are not creating systems around the ways that we make money, what happens is we end up breeding a ton of inconsistency in our business. And that stems into something else, which is the real estate agent's next thought, feeling, and emotion, which is anxiety. When you don't know where your next deal is coming from, you don't know how much your next check's going to be. You have no idea what, when, where, how, who, any of those types of things. It creates this insane form of anxiety and inconsistency that agents experience, and it's not something that you have to live with. Your business can be a predictable machine that brings you as many customers month in and month out as you want. You just have to understand your business. You have to understand how you get customers. You have to understand the costs associated with doing those things. So I travel the country and I ask this one question. It's my favorite question to ask. I have asked literally tens of thousands of people at this point. What is your cost per closing? And if anybody knows, I'd love to see some engagement here, some interaction in the chat. What is your cost per closing? How much money or how much time do you have to invest to get a customer in your business? And I want to make sure that we define this. I'm not talking about leads. I could give, a care less how much your cost per lead is, name, email, phone number. You cannot cash leads at the bank. They only cash checks. What does it cost you to generate a closing in your business? And therein lies the secret, my friends, to understanding how to create predictability, how to know every month in and month out, how many homes that you will sell. And a lot of people will say, well, Grant, I don't have a cost to get a closing because I spend my time to do it. And that is garbage, because your time has an associated value. A lot of you will say, well, it's free because I spend my time. And in the next breath, you'll turn around and say, time is the most important thing that we all have. We can't get any of it back, right? So which is it? In business, using your time to do something is very silly. It's a very silly business move. It's not something that you want to do. If you focus more time and energy on increasing your value per hour, how much money you make per hour, you will be shocked at how big your business will grow, because you're consistently focused on creating systems around the things that you do, which removes you from having to do them. So diving into this, the first thing that I want to do is I want to figure out what your value per hour is. So you can tangibly see how much money you pay to get a customer. So what I want you to do is I want you to take the income that you have generated in the last 6 months, and I want you to take the hours you worked to generate that income, and that equals your value per hour. So if your income in the last 6 months is $100,000, good for you, first and foremost, but $100,000 would be the number, okay? And then we would divide that by the number of hours worked. If you just work 40 hours a week, I believe that's 960 or 980 hours over a 6-month time frame. Then your value per hour would be, what is that, $98 or $980, whatever that is. So what is your income the last 6 months divided by the hours worked to get that income? That equals your value per hour. Now, if you just figured out this number, please put it in the chat. We want to know, what is your value per hour? For some people, it's going to be $7 an hour. For some people, it's going to be $700 an hour. There's no wrong answer here. There's just the truth. There's just the facts. What is your value per hour? When we know these things, we then know how to calculate what our cost per closing is if we spend our time to do it. So now that we have the understanding, we want to calculate, what does it, quote unquote, cost me to get a customer? Now there's the financial way, which is the smart way, and we're going to cover that first. And then there's the other way. So if you spend money to generate business, like for example, if you buy leads from Facebook, or you buy leads from Zillow, or you buy Bold leads or Realtor.com leads, or whatever that might look like for you, you're spending money to get customers, okay? So what I want you to do over the last 6 months total, pick one source. It doesn't matter to me. Just pick Zillow, or just pick Facebook, or just pick Bold leads. It doesn't matter. What is the one source that you are going to look at? And then how much money did you invest in that source? So if you bought leads from Facebook, how much money did you spend in Facebook in the last 6 months? And how many homes did you sell as a direct result of that advertising spend? You spent $100 in Facebook ads the last 6 months. You sold one house, whatever that number is, that's going to give you your cost per customer. The money invested in the last 6 months divided by the number of homes sold equals the cost per customer. And you can figure this out for every single source. And then you'll know if it's profitable or if it's not profitable. Okay, that's the financial way. And if you just calculated this, please post it in the chat. I'm super anxious to know what your numbers are. Now, then there's the time way, the hard way. Okay, there's the smart way, financial, and then there's the time way, which is the hard way. How much time did you invest in the last 6 months prospecting, cold calling, door knocking, networking? And how many homes did you sell as a result of that time invested? Not everybody prospects for 8 hours a day. Some people prospect for 2 hours a day. Okay. How much real time did you spend in the last 6 months prospecting? And then how many homes did you sell as a result on that? That's going to give you your time spent per customer. Okay. Your time spent per customer. Now, when you take your time spent per customer and you multiply it by your value per hour, guess what? You get a cost per customer as it relates to your time. Now, again, there's the smart way, which is the financial way. That's where you're an investor. You spend money and you get money back. You know, that's why people buy real estate. They spend money in real estate just so they can get money back. They spend money in the stock market so they can get money back. They loan people money so they can get more money back. There's all of these ways to invest your money to grow your money, right? Well, if you're doing business the right way, you're spending your money to grow it. You're not spending your time to grow your income. You're spending your money to grow your income. You're not spending your time.
And Grant, so we talk about the smart way is to really invest in yourself, right? And
Yep.
so what would you say, because I have a number that I typically do in when I'm teaching a class about investing in yourself, what percentage of your income as a real estate professional, right? What percentage of a real estate professional's income should go back into investing into getting new business or even nurturing previous business?
I hear a lot of different theories on this. There's a lot of people, big corporations, they mark off 10% for their marketing funds, and that's how they grow it. I'm a little more aggressive in my growth, and so I consistently invest 20% of my revenue back into marketing, and that allows me to create this snowball of a monster budget that goes from, you know, it's how we take people from spending $100 a month to $100 a day is by aggressively reinvesting our spend. So I believe in the 20% rule. You know, there's a lot of companies that believe in the 10% rule. It's really just finding what you're most comfortable with.
Awesome.
You know, if you can take 20% of every commission check and you can put it back into marketing, you're going to see your marketing budget blow up. And you could start the year spending $1,000 a month, and you could end the year spending $10,000 a month if you invested that hard. So that's our.
I usually coach 20 to 25%.
Yeah, that's a great rule, guys. What I see, and this is maybe you'll see this now on your piece of paper too. What I see is that most of my students end up paying an average of 8 times more money to get customers if they use their time to do it. 8 times more. There is nothing free about using your time to generate business. And I'm going to tell you, it is stupid. There's no other way to say it. And I'm talking to myself. It is stupid when I do it too. It's not just dumb when other people do it. It's a dumb use of time. I understand why people do it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't bootstrap yourself into a good situation. Absolutely work hard, use your time if that's what you have. But if you don't have systems created around your income streams, that means when you stop, your business stops. And that is a dangerous, dangerous recipe. Okay. I don't know if you got these numbers down on your paper. I hope that you do. But you should see now that spending your time to get customers really isn't smart, nor is it very profitable if you're paying an average of 8 times more to get a customer when you spend your time to do it. These are the most important numbers to know. Because whether you just ignore my advice and you continue on using your time, or you decide to start investing financially because it makes more sense, you now know how to create predictability. Because if you spend $500 to get a customer, well, if you want to sell 5 homes a month, guess what? You just spend $2,500 a month and boom, you got 5 customers. If you want to generate 5 customers a month using your time and it takes you 40 hours a week to do it, hey, guess what? At least you know you're going to have to work 50 hours a week to make it all happen. You've got to understand the actions that you must take to create your desired result. Whether that's spending a certain portion of money to get customers or it's spending a certain portion of time. You've got to know these things. This is the secret to growth. Making money is not hard, more of a mind game than it is anything else. If you understand the actions, and we just covered them, you know how to go create predictability. Now, what I find, and I'd love to know, hit me up in the chat section, which category do you feel like your business falls in? What I did is I developed this client generation matrix. And what I see is that most people typically fall in one of these categories, okay? Category A, you rely solely on your sphere of influence or past clients for business. You have a decent brand, but business is very inconsistent and you rarely know when your next deal is going to come in. You have no lead flow, meaning you're not getting leads coming into the business. And you're not a fan of quote unquote closing deals, meaning you don't jump on the phone and cold call and door knock and do those types of things. Therefore, you really aren't sure what to do next. Okay, that's category A. Hit me up in the chat if that's where you feel like you are. Category B, you're a great closer, meaning you're not afraid to get on the phone, door knock, those types of things, which is why business can be really good for you, but you get burnt out working the phones, or what a lot of people say, hustling, right? And therefore you struggle with inconsistency month in and month out. You don't have consistent lead flow coming in, and your brand is basically non-existent because you spend so little time creating value in the marketplace. Okay, are you category B? Category C, you have really good lead flow and you're pretty good at closing deals if you can get people to talk to you. You don't have the best brand because you don't really work on it that much, and you have little to no content out there about yourself. This means you have to work 3 times as hard to put deals together, and you get burnt out very frequently, which leads to inconsistency in production. Okay, are you category C? Or are you category D? Now, category D is where we try to get everybody to. You're generating leads, however you get leads. You're building your brand through content creation, meaning people can find all kinds of information out about you. And you have a great sales process, which means that you're converting 3 to 5% of the leads that you're generating. You know that your cost per customer is a certain number, right? And you're able to create predictability month in and month out. You know how much business you'll do, which allows you to scale your company based on what your goals are. So category A, B, C, D, I would love to know. Hit us up in the chat. Which category are you in? Very few people are in category D, but that's where we try to get you. Because if we do that successfully, it means that we created systems around your income streams, and that makes things more predictable. And it also detaches you from that part of the process. Most agents are bottlenecks for growth and success, for production, because they're standing in the way of one of these things. And if you get out of the way and you create systems around those things, voila, it all changes. Now, what is a client generation system, right? This is kind of a frame of what that looks like. First thing that we've got to do to build a client generation system is we have to be able to generate leads. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. It doesn't matter where your leads come from, but you've got to generate leads. Some of the examples I'm going to show you in this presentation will show you how you can use some simple Facebook ads to get leads flowing in immediately. Those leads need to go into a CRM of some type. That's what you see, this little settings icon. That's what that is, a CRM of some type. Doesn't really matter to me what it is. But they need to go somewhere where they're getting automated emails, texts, calls, and those types of things from you. Now, when a lead comes in, as you're seeing at the first level, the next thing that they should see, if they go back to social media, they should immediately see your face, your brand. You should immediately and automatically begin the relationship building process with those people. And so we teach a process called dynamic video remarketing. And what that means is that when somebody comes into your systems, they become a lead, boom, right? Instantly, when they go to social media, they see your face. They start to build that relationship with you. And one of the cool things about things like Facebook ads and stuff like that is we can actually track how much of the video content we put out people are watching. So if they don't watch a whole lot, we just show them another video and we set it all automatically. If they watch a lot of one of our videos, we send them to a call to action campaign. You see this calendar down here, where it's a video. It's like, hey, thank you so much for watching a lot of video content. I just wanted to let you know I'm here to help you buy or sell a home. If you'll click the schedule button, you can get some time on my calendar. I can walk you through the process, right? It's just something simple like that. Gets appointments coming in on autopilot. That's incredible. Now, the reason we generate appointments is so that we can close deals, right? And I'm sure if I put a poll in this group of people and asked you how many of you feel confident in your ability to close deals if you can get in front of somebody, everybody would say, yeah, absolutely. Because statistically speaking, the consumer chooses the first agent they meet with 86% of the time. Statistically speaking, almost 9 out of 10 interactions will lead to a deal for you. You just have to get more of those interactions. And that's what a client generation system is. It's a systematic way of getting you more appointments, which gets you more closings. And when we do this, when we're spending money in a system like this, we grow to understand what our cost per closing is. And that allows us to create the ultimate form of scalability in our business, because it's not tied to our personal actions. It's not tied to our time. Look, David, I don't know if you're any way like I am, but I've had a business that was tied to the amount of time, energy that I put into it, especially when it comes to generating new customers. And I've had a business that was only exclusively tied to the amount of money I spent. Which do you feel like, David, just be honest with me, I made more money with?
The one you spend money in. At the
Right.
end of the day, yeah, all day long. I've had the business where you are spending so much time on your business, and then you don't spend any money on leverage. And I think that's a big one, right? And so
Yep.
everything you're talking about right now, all the systems that agents can put in, this is leverage. This is you leveraging your time and your life and your business.
I've seen, and this is just giving you real numbers, guys. I'm gonna be real vulnerable with you here. If I've spent my time to grow my business, I've learned that I've been capped at around 6 figures a month in revenue. Now, when I stepped out of the way and I didn't spend any time of my own personal time trying to get customers, but I put a system in place to do it, my best month was a little over $650,000 in revenue in 1 month. Okay. So pay attention to these things. I would imagine if you looked back and paid attention to the times where your business went up and down, it was directly tied to you, your actions, and the things that you did. We want to get that off of our plate. So diving in and helping you understand how to create a client generation system, one thing I want you guys to remember for the rest of your life: the person that works with everyone works with no one. The number one rule of marketing is you've got to know who you're marketing to. Okay, so if you got a pen and paper, I'd love for you to go through really fast and create this client avatar. This is your ideal customer. If you could do business with this person every single day, who would that person be in your business? I want you to draw a little stick figure, give them a name, and then I'm going to go through this kind of quick. What is their personal attributes? What's their gender? What's their occupation? What's their income status? And these last three are so important. Where do they like to hang out? Where do they like to shop? Where do they like to eat? Okay. Second, what is their family situation? What's their family status? Are they married, single, divorced? Do they have kids? If so, how many? Are they associated with any sports? Are there any schools they want to be near? Locations they want to stay away from? What's their family profile? What is their real estate desire? What do they want? Beds, baths, area, pool, all those types of things. What are the amenities, right? What are their needs? What types of programs exist to support those people? Things like VA loans, down payment assistance programs, jumbo loans. Like there's all these different packages that exist or programs that exist to support these different people. What are their hobbies? And what are their beliefs? What do they like to do? What do they not like to do? What are their religious views? What are their political views? And I'm not asking you to be political or be religious in any of your marketing efforts. I'm just asking you to understand who your customer is. Again, the person that works with everyone works with no one. The more that you can identify your ideal customer, the easier it is to find, market, sell, and convert those people. David, you want to work smarter? You want to work harder, my man?
Always smarter, brother. Always
Always smarter.
smarter.
Guys, I'm giving you the secret. A lot of you are fighting over the crumbs that the top producers are leaving behind in the market. Okay. And what I'm saying is if you will follow this one simple principle, know who your customer is, you can go create your own market. Would you rather own 1-ish% of a market, or would you rather own 85+% of a market? There's no question which one you'd rather have, but you're thinking that you got to work with everyone or you'll take any deal that comes to you is what is keeping you small. Isn't that funny? You thinking that most of the market being your customer is actually what's keeping you small. It's the difference between a general practitioner, a doctor, take a doctor, general practitioner, or a specialist. David, do you want to go see a general practitioner about your heart, or do you want to go see somebody in cardiology?
Specialist all day long.
I'm going to go see a specialist all day long. And that specialist makes more money, right? And you can apply that same rule to your real estate business. Do you want to be a generalist or a specialist?
And you always find that when you're a specialist in something, you end up, something. So, and I think everyone knows is that you end up working with somebody that knows, likes, and trusts you, right? And
absolutely.
That's really what it boils down to.
Absolutely. Guys, a lot of people, when we walk through that exercise, they don't do it because they feel like they're limiting themselves in the marketplace. Now, if you don't want to take it from me, somebody that's helped sell billions of dollars of real estate the last few years, go use this tool. It's called the Facebook Audience Insights. Take the profile that you just built, plug it into this tool, and Facebook will tell you how many people there are in your market that match the profile that you just built out. What you're about to find is that there are literally thousands of people in your marketplace that are your ideal customer. Okay? Use this tool. It's really powerful. Now, for those of you that don't know, I want to walk through it really quick, and I'm going to show you some examples. This is a marketing funnel. A marketing funnel is what I consider to be a client experience, okay? This is the general process people go through whenever they're considering doing business with you. Now, what we will do is we will try to get awareness, level one, the first level. We'll try to get awareness to who we are, what we do, and how let people know how we can help them. Now, traditionally, you've done that by calling, texting, emailing, door knocking, attending networking events, asking for referrals, right? You're trying to get everybody to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. What we like to do is instead put out these things called lead magnets that draw people to us instead of us having to go chase people. And that gets people giving us their name, their email, their phone number, their physical address, giving us all of their contact information. So we don't have to go out there and exert our energy to make it happen. Again, we're just exchanging money for money here. When we get people pulled into our marketing funnel, the next phase of this is the interest phase, the discovery phase. Now, I'd love to ask everybody to tell me in the chat. Let's say you're considering buying a training. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about investing in yourself. Let's say that training is $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. How long, and type this in the chat, how long are you going to wait to make a decision to take that action? Are you going to study it? Are you going to research it? Are you going to ask for referrals? Are you going to read reviews? Or are you just going to buy it, sight unseen, ready to go, ready to make it happen? Hit me up in the chat section right now. I'd love to know the answer to this question. How long do you typically make to make a large money decision? David, what kind of answers we got coming in?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. What I have seen is that most people don't just jump off a cliff and make big money decisions. I saw the chat come in.
2 days.
2 days? What do you say?
2 days.
Well, that's good. Who is that person? I'm going to call them as soon as we're done. Most people don't rush to make buying decisions. A lot of people watching this don't rush to make buying decisions, especially for bigger ticket purchases. But most people watching this also get upset if buyers and sellers don't jump at the chance to do business with them. You're talking about somebody that's making the largest investment decision of their life, buying or selling, and you're upset because they don't spring at the opportunity to do business with you, and they don't even know you. They just met you, right? You've done no work to actually build a relationship with this person. Knowing your own purchase behavior, you're still upset. We've got to shift the experience here. There's nothing wrong with working with buyers and sellers who are ready to go right now. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. The only problem is that most agents don't have this type of experience set up so that people can get to know you while you are just focused on buyers and sellers who are ready to go right now. So when we create a marketing funnel, we're creating an experience for people to have that allows them to build a relationship with you on autopilot while you're focused on those buyers and sellers who are ready to go right now. Once somebody moves through the interest or discovery phase, they go into the decision phase where they're saying, yes, I'm going to do this. No, I'm not. And then they take some action. Okay. You could be the person they do business with, or you could not. It's predicated on how well of a job you've done building a relationship with those people. Because truthfully, the buyer seller, the lead you have, is going to do business with someone. It just might not be you. And
Right.
most of the time, it won't be. Okay. Most of the time, it won't be. Especially if you've done nothing to create an experience that allows them to connect with you. It's very important. Okay. So putting this into practice, when we're building a client generation system, we do it in levels. Okay. So level 1 for us, think of that as lead generation. I'm going to generate leads for the business. And we'll put an ad out that looks exactly like this. Brand new in Fort Myers, looking for a new home, ? I've got a list of brand new homes waiting for their new family. These properties are freshly built, and I can't wait to show them to you. Listing under $375,000. I know we can find the right price and the right location. Contact me soon. Click here to get a free list of properties, right? This is just one example. And David, we have about 11 different examples of ads that we typically run, but this is one of the top performers where we just put out a list of properties that people can download, and they give us their name, their email, their phone number. Now, this ad works in every market we've ever ran it in, at any price point we've ever ran it in, under any condition, anything, like anything that you could think of. This campaign has worked. Why? Because it gives the prospect what they want, not what they need. What they want is a home, okay? What they need is a loan, and they need an agent. They need all kinds of things to facilitate purchasing a home or selling a home, but that's not what they want. So don't try to force somebody to get what they need. Just give them what they want. In marketing, we call that a hook, right? And then hook them into learning more about your business to see that you're the solution. So when we put this ad out, a couple of pro tips. Create a collage image like this where you use 2 or 3 pictures of the exterior of the home, and then use 2 or 3 pictures of the interior of the home. The kitchen, the living room, the master bath are the best interior images to use. It's where people spend most of their time. And then the price point that you will know how to market is the median price point of homes sold in the last 90 days. If you go to the MLS and you research that, you'll get the median price point. That would be the number that you would put in your Facebook ad here. If you use this campaign exactly like it's shown right here, you will start generating leads within the next 24 to 48 hours. You just target your campaign at people interested in real estate in your market, and boom, leads will start rolling in your community. Now, that takes us to level 2. So level 1, generate leads. Remember, that's the first component of a client generation system. Level 2, we have to build a brand. That's the second component to a client generation system. So if somebody goes to level 1, they opt into this campaign, well, hey, guess what? As soon as they go back to Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else on the internet that we are hooked into the audience network, boom, your face pops up and they can see you and they can start to learn about you. Now, there are 4 categories of videos that you should create. First category, content about me. Okay, personality profile, reality type stuff. Who are you? Most importantly, if somebody goes back to Facebook, the first video they should see is, why do you sell real estate? Why do you help people buy or sell properties? 90-second video, 3-minute video. Doesn't have to be long. Why do you do what you do? Second category of video is education. And that's what this video is. It's content about the process. If you guys take the process to buy a home or the process to sell a home and you write that down, you literally have months of little bitty 3-minute videos, 4-minute videos, 5-minute videos that you could create about one specific part of the process. And what that does is it helps build you up as an authority figure in their mind. That's really important. Okay, so content around the process, education. Third topic, testimonials, social proof. People want to know that you've actually done what you've said. You've actually helped people the way that you've described. So creating testimonials, sharing those things is going to be key. And then the fourth category, and in my mind, one of the most important, is content around community. When you wrote out your ideal client profile, you also wrote out where they like to hang out, where they like to shop, where they like to eat. Hey, guess which community people you're going to go highlight. Guess which businesses you're going to go highlight. The ones that your customer likes the most, the one that your customer does business with the most. If you know that your customer likes to eat at this little local spot, go create a video highlighting that business. And boom, you create this association with your prospect, all done naturally in the market. Now, David, if I go back a second, and let's say I do things traditionally and I go sit with somebody at the closing, or not at the closing table, but at the kitchen table, and I start having a conversation with them. Here's the flow of my conversation. First thing I'm going to do is introduce myself and try to build a relationship with those people. Okay. Hey, guess what, guys? The first category of content I told you to create was content about yourself. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to what they feel like they know about buying and selling a home, and I'm going to educate them. I'm going to teach them the process to buying, the process to selling, and the process to how I do it. Hey, guess what the second category of content you guys should be creating was? Content about the process. The third thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about all the success we've had in the marketplace and all the people that we've gotten to help, and I'm going to share those stories. Hey, guess what? Third category of content is. And then the fourth thing I'm going to do is I'm going to display my knowledge of the market, learning what they want, learning where to send them, learning where to keep them from, learning what's going to sell their house, all those different types of little nuances. Hey, guess what the fourth category of content is? It's content about the community, displaying your knowledge. All I did here, guys, is I took the conversation that I know you're having at the kitchen table every single time you have a meeting, and I brought it onto a social platform, and I'm giving you the freedom here to have that conversation with your prospect in real time, on demand, the way that the consumer wants to learn more about yourself. Your entire buyer presentation, your entire seller presentation, all those meetings can be done socially just by putting out these little bitty videos that you create and following your prospect all over the internet. So when we're building that brand with somebody, we're building that connection, that trust, that faith and loyalty in the marketplace, we're doing it automatically. While other people are calling, texting, emailing, harassing people to get their business, your content is showing up automatically, very naturally, very organically every time that the market's, that the buyer or seller is interacting.
The beauty of this is that you're having this kitchen table conversation with many people at the same time.
Yeah, it's no longer one-to-one. That's a dumb use of time, right? It's one-to-many. Now let's take what we are doing right here today, David, as an example. I agreed to do this because it allowed me to speak to many people, not just one person. Right? I would not typically jump on an interaction like this if it was just going to be one person. I'm dedicating a whole hour to doing this, but it's not me speaking one-to-one. It's me speaking one-to-many. I get to talk to a lot of people at the same time. That's an example of what David just said, is it's no longer a one-to-one interaction. Guys, while I'm doing this, I have videos out there that are literally talking to thousands of people throughout this hour that I'm doing this with you guys. And that's the dream, is that you're able to build a connection with people on autopilot. And there are so many, it's a whole separate presentation, but there are so many reasons why video is so powerful today and why you should be using it. And I don't have time to dive into it, but guys, put video content out there about yourself. The people in your market, the buyers and sellers, are subconsciously programmed, subconsciously wired to build a connection with you just by seeing videos of you. It's powerful. Okay. First level, generate leads. Second level, build a brand. Third level, convert customers, right? Remember, the third component to having a client generation system was having a sales process, converting customers. So if somebody's watched enough of our video content, we'll send them to an ad that looks just like this and say, hey, trying to sell your home. I would love to talk to you. Here's what you're going to learn. Book some time to meet with me. And you can do this for buyers as well. This person just wanted to work primarily with sellers. All of this stuff, guys, it's happening automatically. One action triggers the next. And we're getting appointments rolling in on autopilot, which gives us an opportunity to make money. This is what a client generation system is. It's a systematic way to generate customers in your business. And there's only one reason to do that, David, only one. And that is to create predictable production.
Right.
If you don't know how many homes you're going to sell next 30, 60, 90, 120 days, having a system like this solves that problem, which also, guys, cures the anxiety that you might have in your stomach right now because you don't know where your next deal is coming from. Having a system like this solves the consistency or the inconsistencies rather that you have day in and day out being a real estate agent, when your production is tied to your time, your action doing those things. Want to buy a $250,000 house? Want to buy an investment property? Hey, look, you got to sell 3 homes a month. And if our cost per closing is $500 and our average commission check is $6,750, that's how we get the formula for these numbers, right? I know, David, if I want to buy an investment property, how much money to spend into marketing. Isn't that a crazy concept?
Yeah.
I know that if I want to buy something, I need to spend money to get there, right? Not save money to get there. I need to spend money to get to my desired goal. If I want to buy a $250,000 property and I got to sell 3 homes a month, and if I know that my cost per closing is $500, I know if I just spend $1,500 a month in marketing, I'm going to be able to pay cash for an investment property at the end of 12 months. I know that if I want to buy an $80,000 Land Rover, get my tax write-offs, right? I got to sell a home a month. And if I know that I'm going to make $6,750 in my commission checks, an average, and I know that my cost per closing is $500, if I just spend $500 a month at the end of 12 months, I'm going to be able to buy a Land Rover, pay cash. I know, and I have no bearing or understanding of what college costs, but if I wanted to send my child to college for a semester or a year, however much this would get somebody through college, $25,000, I need to sell 0.33 homes per month. That's 1 home a quarter. $125 in marketing will get me there. Guys, creating predictability is the only reason to have a client generation system. It's the only reason to create a systematic way that you get customers in your business every month. Does that make sense, David?
I think it's pretty, it's so simple and yet so important, and still so many people are not doing it.
Yeah.
And I think, I have a friend down here, Orlando Montiel. I don't know if you know him or not, but he's a local coach here in Miami. And he says, number one, don't be a secret agent.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, leave that to the CIA, the FBI. Those guys can be secret agents. You have no reason to be a secret agent. You need to be out there as much as possible. That's number one. And number two, don't be an accidental agent. Don't be the agent that just falls on top of a deal and says, oh, wow, look, I got a closing. Like, be preemptive about it.
Yeah. The more intentional you can be about creating systems around your income streams, you're going to look up in a few months and all of a sudden you're going to have all of your time back. Could you imagine, David, what you could do with an extra 3 or 4 hours a day if you didn't have to use it prospecting? Can you just imagine what you do with all that time? This is what I'm talking about, guys. Get your time back, get your freedom back. A lot of people didn't go into real estate so that they could work 60 to 80 hours a week, be a prisoner to their client's schedule, and make very little money. That's not the vision I think you were sold coming into the industry, right?
Everybody gets into this industry to make money.
Yes. Create systems around how you do that.